by Senator Canavan.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. And I too took my kids to school last week, as Senator Dastyari too, and I share his comments in commending the incredible commitment that the teachers and principal at my children's school, St Benedict's in Yeppoon, give. It's a wonderful school and they do a great job. I was proud to say that all my 3 children actually seemed to want to go to school. There were no complaints or tears or dragging them out of bed. So I don't know if that'll happen every day this year, but it's nice to start the year on a positive step. I noted Senator Dastyari did talk about his own children to start with, and he did spend a lot of time speaking about the Labor Party's policy they announced last week, which you might have seen, Mr Deputy President, was titled "Your Child, Our Future." To me, that was quite a scary kind of title and frame to put on things. I think your children should be, you can look after them, Senator Dastyari. I don't particularly want to have any kind of ownership over your children, but apparently the Labor Party wants to have some ownership over my child and my children, and other people's children as well. And I think that sort of that approach of the Labor Party is testament to their overall and overbearing and controlling approach, when in matter of fact actually improvements to our children, improvements to our schools are going to not so much come from what we do in this place. They're going to come from the good work, commitment and cooperation between parents, teachers and local school communities. There's no magic wand that a minister down here or a treasurer down here or a budget down here in this place can wave and say suddenly my son will no longer want to play Minecraft every night, he'll want to go and learn the periodic tables. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by Labor's policy. It's not going to happen by spending billions of more dollars. It's going to happen by a commitment to better education at all of our schools. Because I also took note that Senator Dastyari said very clearly that in his view we can't achieve better educational outcomes unless we have more funding. That's what their Labor Party's position is. It's all tied to the inputs in. It's all tied to how much we spend. Well, in fact, we have spent 40% more on education in the last decade, Mr Deputy President. 40% more on education. And according to the Labor Party's own policy document, over that period, and as I'm quoting here now from Labor Party's policy, what is it? Our child, your future, or the other way around? Your child, our future, I think it is, Mr Deputy President. According to OECD data, in the year 2000, only 1 country outperformed Australia in reading and maths, and in 2006, only 2 countries outperformed Australia in science. Today, 16 countries outperformed Australia in maths, 9 countries outperformed Australia in reading, and 7 countries outperformed in Australia in science. By their own admission and their own data, we have gone backwards over the past 10 to 15 years. We've gone backwards. At the same time, we've spent more than 40% on education funding. How do they explain that? How do they explain that? How do you explain that the response then to this reduction in our performance in the past 10 to 15 years is just to throw more money at the problem, just to throw more money at it? That is the Labor Party's approach, Mr Deputy President. Every problem that comes in, just spend more money, just spend more money. On these Medicare reforms that are controversial now, just spend more money. Don't worry about the results. Don't worry about if they actually deliver what is you've promised and what you argue for. Just spend more money. Well, Mr Deputy President, we're in a new year now. We're in a new year and it's an election year, and the Australian people will have a choice later this year. They will have a choice between a Labor Party that is still addicted to spending too much of your money, still addicted to throwing billions of dollars at problems, regardless of the outcome. They don't care. They don't do the analysis. They're not particularly concentrating on the results. They only care about how much dollar signs they can put for the next policy announcement they make. They will not fully fund it, as Jay Weatherill, Premier of New South Australia, admits. They will not have a proper funding plan for it. And if we do end up with a Labor government after this election, it will not be your child, our future. It will be your debt and you have to pay it back. That's what will happen if the Labor Party gets back into office, because they will continue to spend your money regardless of what the outcomes deliver, like they did with $900 cheques, like they did with school halls in their last government, like they did with many other programs in their last term in government. And God help Australia if they get back in and can have a cash barbecue of billions of dollars of more of your money with their misguided plans.